Hello, tonight we are really trying out a very special wine. You're not going to recognize it from the label because that's all that's left, but it is a Vega Sicilia Unico, 1964. This is the cork. It was a little bit of work. I mean, it's fine, but it does say Vega Sicilia. I can't really see the vintage too well, but this is a seller we've bought from before and we trust him. So, and he's a really very big expert on the Spanish wines and the property from he's in Europe. Anyway, so this there's a whole other video on how I opened the wine, so it might be interesting. I will release that as well. And 1964 was just an incredible year in Rioja and Ribera del Duero. This property, Vega Sicilia, is probably the best known and the best regarded winemaker in all of Spain. There's obviously a lot of newcomers that are very, very highly recognized, but this is the grand old dam of winemaking in Spain. It was started in 1864, so this is basically the 100th year. I've always wanted to taste this wine. So when I had an opportunity to buy some with Nasri, one of our partners here in the group, we jumped at it, and so here we are. Anyway, when I first opened it, it was discouraging because the cork was pretty, was very mobile, so it wasn't really tight, but the foil was incredibly tight, so that I'm sure helped. And there was this mustiness, but you get that. This is a wine that's basically spends 10 years between wood and bottles in the cellar before it gets released. 6 in wood and 4 in glass and bottle. The wood, it goes from one kind of container to another, new, old, large, small. They really have it down to a science to give it the most age worthiness possible. And that's sort of what's the myth about Vega Sicilia is, that you buy wine that's 60 years old and you're supposed to, it's supposed to be very, very, very good. On the color, you can see some lightness here, but again, this is not, there is a little bit of yellow orange around the edge, but for a 60-year-old wine, this still looks pretty rich on the color. On the nose now it's just beautiful. It's got that sort of spiciness and the leather, from the wood. It's got still quite a bit of fruit, a little bit of that sort of sort of prunish, but not that, just a little bit more subtle, not overly cooked, sour cherry. It's just really, it's subtle, so you have to work at it because it's an old one, but that's actually what makes it even more fun to me in some cases. Great acidity, which is still incredible when you think about it after all these years. So we're going to enjoy it with dinner tonight with some friends. Nice finish. The finish is still a little bit acidic. I think this is really going to open up. Again, this is just first glass out of the bottle. Opened it a few hours ago, but I didn't want to overdo it on the opening. But I'm sure there won't be anything left after dinner. So I just wanted to make sure we squeeze in this bit of sharing with you. But that a little bit of nuttiness that comes from the wood, not the nuttiness that comes from the wine goes bad, but just something that I think is earthy, really. These wines are pretty much majority Tempranillo and some Cabernet and Merlot. This particular vintage, I think, was 65% Tempranillo and the rest what we call the Bordeaux grapes. Not quite sure in what combination, but it's got this. It's a little bit of sweetness, also on the finish. The acidity, the mix of fruit. It's just really, I think it's unlike anything I've had recently that I can remember, even among some of the fine old wines we've had in this house. Not all necessarily we shared on this group, but 90s Bordeaux, early 80s, late 70s. old Cabernets. This is very different. It's just unique, and this is what makes this so special. Anyway, cheers, and see you soon.